Morning. Big moves could be on the card for India's banking sector. Sources are telling us that the government is considering a major round of FDI reforms, possibly lifting the foreign investment cap in public sector banks to 49% while still retaining majority control. Vishwanath Nair joining in for more details. Vishy, what is the intent here and what is the likelihood of this happening?
Tamara, the intent is twofold. One is to make a sort of level playing field between the public sector and the private sector banks. Currently, private sector banks are allowed to have 74% FDI, 49 on the automatic route, and anything more than that with approvals from the government and the regulator. However, in this specific scenario, the other intent is to bring in foreign capital, which will boost the creation of these mega banks in India, because that is something that is a stated strategy as far as the government is concerned. And there has been considerable interest coming in from banks in North America, banks from Japan, banks from Middle East, in looking at these investments. And in recent roadshows, that's something that the government and its advisors have picked up. That is what sources are telling us. The other part of this, apart from the FDI reforms, is also a 26% voting rights cap. That is also under review because the last time this voting right cap was reviewed, it was raised from 10% to 26% back in 2011 and 12. Since then, of course, many years have passed and a lot has changed in the banking sector. So now there's scope for a slightly higher voting rights cap, which will actually help attract more investors, because right now investors are thinking, what is the point of buying a lot of stake when my voting rights are capped at 26%? I can't do much, I can't achieve much. So if that is actually increased, that may help them, that may give them a little bit more confidence to come in and buy into these public sector banks, as well as some of the other opportunities that are there in India. I just want to also clarify that this, at this point in time, is only a proposal. These are all ideas at this stage which are being discussed and mulled over. There is no final or firm decision that has been taken by the government. As far as the Reserve Bank of India is concerned, for them, the FDI cap may not be such an exciting idea. They believe that if you reduce the government stake in a public sector bank, even if they hold majority 51%, that may shake the confidence of some of these rating agencies, which may result in rating reviews being taken place of these public sector banks. Currently, the rating they enjoy is because of the backing that they have from the government. So, a lot of points of view being discussed at this stage. What actually comes out of it, that's something that we will wait and watch. But the government clearly going for those big banking reforms in India.
Actually, very important point. On the point of ratings, Vishy, you'll know this, but a lot of our viewers may not. It's reflected, the duality of those ratings is reflected in the credit rating and the 81 bond rating.
Correct.
So if you actually see that the 81 bonds of a lot of these public sector banks are rated lower than the credit rating reflects the sovereign guarantee. Vishy, important points that you raised at the end, and certainly a pack, I think, guys, that is going to be focused today.
I just want to come back on one point that Vishwanath made, that the RBI may not be as keen. So just want to understand, Vishy, in balance, that veto then will rest with the Reserve Bank?
Not really. These are legal decisions to be made, right? Like, so the FDI cap or the voting rights cap are both enshrined in the banking regulations.
Parliamentary, I suppose. There will be some legislative decision to be made over here as well.
That's right. So the legislative decision it rests with the government. The RBI may be looked at for advice, and that advice may be taken into consideration when the final call is being taken. But at this stage, of course, that the process of actually deciding that or mulling that is still ongoing. So we'll have to see what factors the government takes into consideration before making a decision on this matter.
So early days or very early days, in your opinion?
I would say early days. Very early days were maybe a few months ago.
Okay. So it's important clarification.
I think Samit wants to come in.
Yeah.
And the only thing that could matter from stock perspective is the fact that if this news comes in, there would be massive flows into these counters, because obviously these counters are under-owned by FIs, and if there is an increase in the limit, that will significantly trigger higher weightage when it comes to the MSCI and the FTSE index. And 5 banks that are part of this MSCI and FTSE index are SBI, Bank of Baroda, Canara Bank, Punjab National Bank and Indian Bank. And of these 5 banks, SBI would be the biggest beneficiary, given the fact that they have a higher weightage not only in the MSCI index but also in the FTSE index, and combined inflows could be close to $1.4 billion. And this might as well happen over a period of time, but this definitely means that there would be continuous flows coming into the PSU banks even going forward.